All right, we good? We recording?
Yep, we are recording.
Okay, just cut this out. So I'm Gabriel Seaver, and I'm a sophomore in computer and information technology.
I'm Josh Miller. I'm a freshman in mechanical engineering technology.
I'm Sam. I'm a freshman in mechanical engineering technology.
I'm Nick Bays. I'm a junior in computer information technology.
Our chosen global challenge was the ever-expanding issue of improving education. Obviously, a global scale is well beyond the scope of this course, so for this purpose, we chose to keep it refined to Purdue specifically. We realized that we need to find a more engaging way to educate students after seeing firsthand the lack of attention and therefore lack of learning that is present in our lecture halls. We hope to present a solution that has the potential to reduce some of the problems that our current system has, with our main task being to increase student engagement. Our stakeholders in this problem space has to do with those involved in the learning process, which are obviously the teachers and the students. Students need to connect and engage with the class personally, and teachers need to effectively communicate with their students.
So for our research, we did some literature reviews. So what we learned from that was that engaged students are obviously going to learn better, and also organized notes help students retain information better. So if we knew that was something we needed to implement. From the classroom observations, we saw that a lot of students were using computers and iPads. So we wanted something that would be PDF friendly, or like easily downloadable, easily to use on a computer or like on an iPad. And from the interviews, we learned that professors don't want to do a ton of work. So we wanted to make it as easy on the professors as possible for the pre-class assignments. For the existing solutions, I mean, there's general course out. Okay, I didn't know I was gonna do this part, so we can cut this part out. What do I talk about here?
Here is just the basically what's
general course outlines? What's that mean?
So basically, you know how like at the start of the semester, some teachers like have like the course outlines of what you're doing each day and like the some main points.
Okay.
It's basically kind of like that. Like if, for
Just
example,
like
you have
what's
like
in
a
the
math
syllabus,
course,
like they
it'd be
kind of
like,
have it.
here's the
I
formulas you need or whatever.
Yeah, basically, there's not a lot that exists right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then we'll start. We can just crop that part out. For existing solutions, some things teachers do is that in the syllabus, they'll outline the course, outline what's going on each day. That kind of organizes the course and the topics a little bit. Student study guides from previous years, so like Quizlets, stuff like that, happen or is used often. And then homeworks based off the lecture slides is another thing that teachers do to try to teach students. Oh, this is also me.
Yeah.
My bad. When you said 4 and 6, I thought you meant 4 and 6. Okay.
I said 4 through 6, I think.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Did that. That is why you used a dash. Has main points, has notes for each section.
Yeah, just explain what our prototype is, basically.
So for our solution, we wanted to make a general outline for each day, for each lecture, that would have main points. So maybe the title of the lecture, or like each slide or each chapter point they're going on. That way there's a section of notes for each section that's being taught. That way students can go back to whatever section or whatever part is confusing. They know where to look for that. Each section is going to end with a test question or like an example. That way students after class or during class can look at that test question, see if they understand how to answer it. And that would kind of show them if they're on the right track, or if they can't answer the test question, that shows they need to go back to that section, read more, ask more questions. And then at the bottom, we're also going to do QR codes for the answer key for the test questions, as well as feedback. And we wanted to make the feedback quick, so we're we're doing like 1 through 5, little type or like questions that they rate 1 through 5. And then at the end, if they want to write a description, something they're confused about, they can. And then this would be like a Word document that teachers could edit and distribute through Brightspace.
For our criteria and constraints, we wanted it something to be simple, so that people can follow along, but it's not going to be distracting. We also wanted it to be something that was organized. So as you'll see in a second with the prototype, the sections are laid out really nicely and they're in order so that you're not jumping around back and forth. We wanted it to be portable, so we've decided to just make it a PDF or Word document that can be downloaded onto a computer or an iPad, and not even try to do a physical product, because people wouldn't try to print it, or the teacher would have to print it and it would just be a mess to get distributed. And we wanted it to be ease of access, which goes back to that PDF, so that the teacher can just upload it into Brightspace and the students can download it onto their device. And then cost effective, it just takes a little bit of time. There's no real cost for anyone. The teacher just fills it out and then puts it on Brightspace, but they don't have to pay anything. So here's an example of our prototype. The things that are outlined in red are what the teacher would fill out, and then the parts that are blank, that's where the students would fill out their notes. And yeah, so it lays it out nicely. And then on the other side, we have the feedback form, or an example of what it could look like, which just asks for some notes from the students, how they liked it, was it effective, and then some more open-ended feedback from them. So the way we did our testing was we had pairs of students sit down, one with the outline and one without, and we just gave a small presentation. It was only 3 or 4 slides. And then after the presentation, we had the students take a quiz, and we asked for their feedback. And Nick will tell you about our results.
All right, so from the tests that we ran, we've found several things. For one, students liked the outlined and the notes. They had a bunch of stories of how they've heard of these type of things before in several classes, and that they definitely help. The outlines that we did test did not really show significant difference when answering the little quiz questions we had at the end. And we believe this is from the presentation being a bit too much on the short side. However, we kind of need it to be on the short side. That way we can at least test people, because I know a lot of students don't really have 20 minutes to sit around and test out something. There was a preference for the online notes compared to printed out ones. The students didn't like having to deal with the whole Purdue printing system because they believe it's extremely complicated. And there was a large dislike for the pre-made lines in the notes section, which we can definitely get rid of that so that it's easier to type. Some students did not like having the free response questions and would have preferred multiple choice for the self-assessment, but we believe that free response is probably better for student testing of their own knowledge, because multiple choice is more guesswork and less of understanding it necessarily. And for the future, we would like to test on larger samples of populations and have longer lectures. And we feel that if we had a professor volunteer to test this out and try out for their entire class, it'd be much better, because we have a larger sample space, because we can test on at least maybe 100 students in a giant classroom over a 50-minute lecture, which is definitely much longer, so it's more for them to remember. So we feel like it would definitely have more definitive results if we did that. And we would also like to refine our outline better to suit the needs of ones of students, so then it seems seamless and fits in perfectly with classes. All right. Do we also need like an outro?
Yeah, what's the outro gonna be?
That's a great question. I didn't think that far ahead.
I don't think any of us thought of that.
We could just do like a Thank you for listening to our presentation. Do you have any questions?
We'll now
Yeah,
take
okay,
questions.
I can do that real quick. All right, thank you for listening to our presentations. Please tell us if you have any questions.
Nice.
Cool.
Fire, bro.
That was something.
Yep.
Great.